Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and there is something rotten in the state of Scotland. We all know the problems with the Post Office Horizon scandal and how in England and Wales they did a blanket fix where everyone was just basically overturned, all the convictions were overturned, compensation was paid where necessary, etc., and everyone moves on. They've had an inquiry, there's been apologies, there's been blames, there's all sorts of things going on. In Scotland, of course, they didn't want that because in Scotland it was the Scottish government that took these people to court. And Dorothy Bain was implicated. And Dorothy Bain asked for each and every case to be looked at individually so she could try and get one or two of them to, keep the convictions so she could justify what she'd done. Oh, yes, most of them were wrong, but look, we caught two that are a bit crooked and all that. And it's all bollocks, right? She was desperate to appear anything other than complacent or, worse, complicit. Well, now that they're looking into these things, it's suddenly emerged that 19 of the cases involved that they're being looked at, where they prosecuted these sub-postmasters, where the SNP government had prosecuted the sub-postmasters, and now these people are looking for justice. And somehow, magically, as though nobody knows how it happened, the entire casework on these 19 prosecutions has somehow disappeared up in a puff of smoke. Dorothy Bain is responsible for the records. Ultimately, she's in charge of all of this. The woman who didn't want these things to be corrected and forgiven, the woman who wanted to look at each and every case, has now sat as 19 of these people who were prosecuted have had all their records lost. And this is bad because in order to correct this very deep, very serious miscarriage and serial miscarriages, plural, of justice, they need to have these things expunged. That means to actually look back, take the actual cases and expunge them legally. Without having those 19 pieces of paper, those 19 folders with all the evidence and all the goings on and the proceedings there, they cannot get justice. They cannot have these things expunged from their record. And so these 19 cases are still technically guilty, even though everyone knows they're not. But it still stands on their record until it's been formally reversed. This is something that now is being said to have sparked fury amongst the various postmasters, the politicians involved, the families, the people, the lawyers. Everyone who's involved in this is asking why and how could these things have got lost? There's no way these things should ever have got lost unless there is some form of deliberate losing of these files so that Dorothy Bain can say, well, look, we've still got 19 of them. They were guilty. Perhaps, allegedly. We don't know. Scotland announced, or Swinney announced back in June, that they would follow Westminster's lead in doing a blanket, correction and forgiveness and pardon all these people. It'd all be reversed. But they can't do it for these 19. Isn't that weird? There's something going on. There is something very, very weird. Now, they've known about this for a long time. This isn't just fresh out this year. This has been going on for years and years and years. And yet, now, only at the end, have they discovered these 19 cases are missing. And I don't believe it either. No one will be able to hold their head up and say they're innocent, even though we all know they are. But they won't be able to say that because it's still on their record. This is Dorothy Bain's responsibility. I'm not saying she's done it, but it's her responsibility. Dorothy Bain needs to resign. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.